Hello, I'm Ollie and this is CriminOlly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, more manga and independently published books. It's my weekly wrap-up. Okay, let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. Yes, I am wearing a shirt. I think it might be the first time I've ever worn a shirt on the channel. It is not very well ironed. In fact, it may not be ironed at all. So that at least is on brand. So the reason I'm wearing it is it's my birthday this weekend. So I turn 50 tomorrow. And I'm going out for a birthday lunch with my sister and her family and my parents and my family, so that should be lovely. But it means I've got a fairly condensed window in order to get this filmed. So I need to try and do this video in one take. I've already had 3 full starts on it. So from this point onwards, I need to try and minimise the need for any edits at all, so I can get it uploaded and scheduled for this afternoon. So normal format for this anyway. I'll talk about what I've been reading, talk about what's been on the channel, that kind of thing, give you a sense of what's coming onto the channel in the next week or so too. And I've got a tiny rubbish book haul at the end too. So what have I been reading? So when I filmed this video last week, there were 2 things to kind of reflect back on. So one was I've been reading a lot of manga and that continued. And also when I filmed this last week, I had completed my TBR for April. So I kind of had free rein to read what I wanted. And I've actually found that I was looking forward to that, and I commented on what a lovely feeling it was in last week's video. But actually I found it a bit difficult, which might sound strange, but I found having like no structure at all to my reading was too much. I couldn't cope with it, so I ended up imposing some structure on myself. And what I've done is I've aimed to read, or all the books I've read basically this week, apart from the manga, have been ones I've been sent for review. So either things I got through NetGalley or things where the author had reached out to me and sent me the book. So that has constrained my reading a little bit and made the decision-making process a bit more manageable, because I was really struggling with it. Right, so let's talk about what I've read then. So manga-wise, so I read 4 more manga volumes this week, and this is for a manga vlog, which will go up tomorrow, where I read the first volume of 10 different manga series. That video is the longest video I've ever made on the channel. I think it's 55 minutes long. So whether anyone gets to the end of it remains to be seen. But I had a really good time filming it. Anyway, so first up then, so Spy X Family. So this was really, oh no, I can't tell you what I thought of it. Right, so you need to watch that. You need to watch that. You need to watch the vlog if you want to know what I thought of it. But this is about a guy who's a spy who has to kind of construct a family around himself for a mission. Also read Mob Psycho 100, which is a kind of wacky comedy style of thing with a bit of kind of psychic power stuff thrown in. So that's those are the 2 physical things I read, and then read 2 pieces of manga digitally. So I read Initial D, which is like a street racer type thing about a couple of young guys who are into the street racing scene in Japan, and Attack on Titan, which is this kind of very well known kind of grand post-apocalyptic adventure type thing. So yeah, watch tomorrow's video. So it's going to go up tomorrow. Watch tomorrow's video if you want to hear my impressions of all of those. In terms of other things I've read then, I've read, and there's already a review up on the channel for The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Core, which is a kind of horror fairy tale about mermaids. It's a very strange book, quite confusing at times, but I really, really enjoyed it. It's got kind of a surreal, nightmarish feel to it. Also read Code Red by R. St. Clair, so the host of the channel Regina's Haunted Library, but also a quite prolific author. So this is a vampire novel set in a kind of a remote hospital. I really had a good time with it. It's really good. It's got some great characters. It's got a very slow build-up, but that build-up really pays off, because once things kick in, you really care about the characters. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I probably will do a review of that at some point on the channel. I haven't got around to filming it yet. Also read 5 Deaths for 7 Songbirds by John Everson. So you see, this is a bit that I would normally edit out. because I've fluffed it a bit, but I'm not going to have time to edit it out. So you're seeing this is kind of CriminOlly unplugged today. So yes, 5 Deaths for 7 Songbirds by John Everson. So this is like a giallo novel, so very much inspired by the giallo movies, those kind of mystery slasher type movies. The best known director of those obviously is Dario Argento, but if you've ever seen an Argento movie, this definitely has that kind of vibe. So about a young American woman who goes to Europe to study music, and at the music school she's studying at, people keep getting murdered basically, and it's her getting wrapped up in that and trying to figure out who the murderer is. The pacing of it was good, and it definitely captures the feel of a giallo movie, but also has the problems of a giallo movie, and it doesn't always make sense, and it's very melodramatic and things like that. But I really quite enjoyed it. And then I've also read 2 other things. Well, actually, so I've read one other thing. So it's definitely been a slower reading month for me, week for me rather, this week. Partly because there's been a lot going on at work. So we had some big announcements at work, which I've had to kind of digest personally, and also help my team digest. And I've just been busy with stuff basically. So yeah, not read nearly as much as I did last week. So anyway, I read this one, Innocent Assassin by Paul MacDonald. So Paul, the author, sent me a copy of this a while ago, and I finally got around to it. So this is a kind of rape and revenge story about a young woman who, so she and her mother were attacked by this kind of gang of horrific guys. The mother died, but the daughter survived, and is seeking revenge. And she's like trained herself in kind of martial arts and stuff like that. I'm going to do a review video on this and the book I'm just about to talk about as well. So I'll talk more about my thoughts on it there. It did feel like a self-published book, so it had the flaws that self-published books often have. It kind of felt like it could have done with a second draft, but there's a lot that's strong in this book as well. In particular, the death scenes for when the heroine, gets her revenge on these guys are fantastically horrible. Like some of the most horrible things I've ever read. So it definitely gets a thumbs up from me for that. And then the thing I am currently reading then is in a similar vein. So A Mother's Revenge by Lucy Fire. I'm about a third of the way through this. So this is so interesting actually. So Innocent Assassin is an Australian book, and A Mother's Revenge is a South African book. So quite interesting to read things that are not from the UK or the US. So this, as the title suggests, is about a mother getting revenge, in this case for the death of her daughter. So definite, there's a definite overlap with Innocent Assassin. And as I say, I'll do when I do a review video, I'll do like a double header for these two, because I think they go quite well together. So that's what I've been reading. And indeed what I'm currently reading, because I'm currently reading this one. So let's talk about channel stuff then. So in the last week or so on the channel, so I did a video talking about reading challenges, so reflecting back on my 50 before 50 challenge. I've done, as I said, reviews of The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Core and 19 Claws and a Blackbird by Augustina Bastarrica. I did a video on 10 horror books I think you could read at a weekend, which seems to have gone down really well. It's my most successful video for a while, so that's nice. And I did my unboxing for the April subscription box from the Abominable Book Club, and then also did the Paxy Heart Tag video, so a video dedicated to the channel Pax Panic. I've talked about Pax a few times on the channel. She's going through has been going through a terrible time at the moment. She was diagnosed with cancer a little while ago. This week, like the day after I put that video up, she announced that her diagnosis has got significantly worse. So I'll leave a link to the GoFundMe page for to support her in the description for the video. But as I said when I did that tag video, if you've got a few spare quid, do support her on GoFundMe. She's going through an unimaginably horrible time. Okay, so in the week ahead then, so I haven't got the whole week planned out quite yet, but as I say, tomorrow you've got that manga vlog. I've got 2 review videos for you. So I've got a one where I review 3 books I read by trans authors for the Trans Girl April event. And then also a review of the book Sworn to Silence by Linda Castillo, which is just like a really fun thriller. So yeah, look out for both of those. And then I'll also be doing my April wrap-up and my May TBR as well. So I was going to go quite light on the TBR this month, but having had this strange experience in the last week of not really knowing what to read and having too much choice, I think I'm actually going to have more of a structured TBR. So yes, we shall see. Right, I promised you a mini rubbish book haul at the end, didn't I? I have filmed this bit once, but I fluffed it so badly, I am going to have to film this bit again. So the book I hauled is Jawbone by Monica Ojeda. So Michelle from the channel Michelle's Melancholia, when I put up my book haul video just over a week ago, she commented on it and said, we're going to be reading this book for the Round the World Book Club, what's it called? The World of Horror Book Club, where they're reading horror books from all around the world, from, you know, authors from all different countries. So she commented that they were going to be reading this book, and I thought that's a bit of a strange comment, why she said that. But I looked up the book and thought, oh, it sounds really interesting, and ordered a copy, which arrived the next day. What I then realised was the reason she'd left that comment was I'd already hauled that book in the book haul video. So it was one that was sent to me by the publisher along with some other books by them. So yes, I've now got 2 copies of it and need to send one of them back to Amazon. Okay, time for a random book from the shelf. So given that I'm meeting my dad for lunch later on, I thought I'd show one of his favourite books. So it's Round the Bend by Neville Shute. So I've only read one Neville Shute book, I think, which was A Town Like Alice, which I did really enjoy. But yeah, my dad's a really big fan and he particularly likes this one. So I do need to get to this at some point. So I hope you found that interesting. I'm conscious it was possibly a bit more rushed and even less professional than normal, but at least I'm wearing a shirt, so at least I look professional when you pause the video and you can't actually hear what I'm saying. So yes, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Let me know what you've been reading this week. Let me know if you've read any of the books I talked about. And as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.